many of the things that are traditionally associated with strong leadership still apply. Leaders, should be good communicators. They should have integrity. They should be resilient, and so forth. But we also found some relatively new and different attributes of successful leaders, which differentiated the successful from the less successful ones. And there were 4 of them in particular that stood out. The first one we call humility. And it's actually around learning and knowledge and expertise. The traditional view of a leader is that, it's the person with the answer, the person who knows, where do you go to find the answer? Well, go to the leader. The leader knows. The leader is the most knowledgeable person. But in a fast-changing environment, this is just simply not possible, that the leader is going to know the answer. So this idea of humility and learning was very, very important in these successful leaders. They were comfortable in admitting that they don't actually have the answer, and they're willing to go and find the answer. So it's a certain amount of confidence that you need to have as a leader to admit, I don't know. I really, this is the first time I've seen this. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to go out and find out what it is. So humility was the first one. The second one was adaptability. Now, we've known for a long time that leaders have to be adaptable, but in fact, in many cases, the traditional view of a strong leader is somebody, weighs the pluses and the minuses, looks at all the facts and figures, and then makes a decision, and then sticks to her guns. She's made the decision. She's going to stick to it. Now we go. Now we execute. But in a constantly changing world, you could very easily have a situation where you do the analysis on a Monday and the right decision is X. But then something happens on Wednesday so that when you revisit the decision on a Thursday, X doesn't make sense anymore. Now we should do Y. So leaders that are willing and comfortable in admitting that, what I said yesterday, the other day is no longer valid. Now I'm saying this. This adaptability was also extremely important. Of course, nobody wants a leader who flip-flops. So it's not like leaders change their mind every day, but when situations change, it's okay to change your mind. The third one is vision, strong vision. We talked about this earlier, the clarity of vision. You don't necessarily need to know how to get there. That's less important, but a very clear idea of where you're going. And in a world that's changing constantly, it's very easy to get caught up in the change and just and end up kind of moving quickly, but in a directionless way. So having that clear vision and articulating and communicating and inspiring people around that vision is seems to be extremely important. And the final one, the last one, is what we call engaged. This is the kind of the ability of the leader, to avoid just telling and spend a lot of time listening and communicating, really trying to understand, engage with different stakeholders, understand what's going on, sense the changes that are happening in the environment. And the nice thing about digital is that, at one time you had to go out and you had to go to cocktail parties and you had to kiss babies and all those things. But these days you can be quite engaged purely through digital means, right? Through communicating with stakeholders, whether it's customers or employees, through, social media, for example, or other formats. But this engagement, high engagement, was really important. So if we summarize that, there's 4 elements. There's the humility, machine learning, there's adaptability, the vision, the sense of a clear vision, and engagement.